Today we have the privilege of honoring two remarkable individuals whose contributions have left a lasting impact on our community. Before we begin introducing our honorees, I want to share a brief story that reminds us why moments like this matter so much. Several years ago, there was a teacher who stayed late almost every afternoon. She wasn't doing it for recognition or praise. She was helping students who needed extra time, extra encouragement, or simply someone to listen. Most days, the building had emptied, the hallways were quiet, and no one really noticed she was still there. One evening, as she was packing up to leave, a colleague stopped by her classroom and said, "I just want you to know I see what you do for these kids. You don't have to stay this late, but you do, and it matters more than you probably realize." That moment stayed with her. Years later, she reflected that those few words came at a time when she was tired and questioning whether her efforts were making a difference. Knowing that someone noticed gave her the motivation to keep going and to keep showing up for students the way she always had. Recognition matters. Taking a moment to acknowledge someone's dedication, effort, and impact can reaffirm their purpose and fuel them to continue doing meaningful work. That's exactly why we're here today. To pause, reflect, and recognize the individuals whose contributions make a difference every single day. Mr. Terry McDaniel and Mr. Russ Toombs have both dedicated themselves to excellence. They have left a lasting mark on their professions, on their communities, on the St. Genevieve County R2 School District, and on the lives of others. By recognizing them today, we not only celebrate their achievements, we inspire all of you to believe that your own hard work, dedication, and character will be recognized in the future. So as they take the stage today, I encourage you to listen closely to their words, take their journeys as proof that what you do today can shape your tomorrow, and never underestimate the power of recognition, whether you are the one receiving it or the one giving it. Now let's begin by hearing from a few of our student leaders who will introduce each of our honorees. As Clementine Birkenstock makes her way to the podium, I would like to share the qualifications to be a member of the Hall of Fame. A nominee must have graduated from St. Genevieve High School, graduated 15 years prior to being nominated, and whose nomination was based on the following qualifications: leadership, character, achievement, service, and suitability as a role model to students. Clementine, will you please introduce our first Hall of Fame inductee?
Our first Hall of Fame inductee is Mr. Terry McDaniel. Mr. McDaniel has been a steady, influential presence in the St. Genevieve County R2 School District for decades, beginning his service while still in high school by helping with custodial work and later supported elementary classrooms as an aide, an experience that sparked his lifelong love for public education. A 1967 SGHS graduate, he went on to build a distinguished career as a teacher, coach, and longtime principal at Bloomsdale Elementary before continuing his leadership on the SGR2 Board of Education for more than 20 years, many of those as board secretary. Terry is not only a respected leader, but a staunch advocate for strong public schools, someone who knows his facts, speaks with conviction, and tirelessly champions public education. Even in retirement, he remains deeply connected to the district, serving on committees where his perspective and experience continues to make a meaningful difference, all while volunteering at SG sporting events from baseball concessions to 50-50 sales at football games. Known for his integrity, generosity, and unwavering loyalty to his alma mater, he embodies what it means to be loyal and true, leaving a legacy shaped by service, advocacy, and a lifelong commitment to kids. At this time, Mr. McDaniel will come to the podium and share some words with us this morning.
Can everybody hear me? Okay. Some of you might say, I don't want to hear him. Okay. Yeah. I learned a long time ago from one of my teachers that the mind cannot comprehend no more than the seed can endure. Mine's going to be sharp, folks. Mine's going to be sharp. Hey, my venture in education started in 1954. I was in the first kindergarten class in this school district. There was over 60 of us. And the grade school was supposed to have been open for us in that year. It wasn't finished. So what do they do with over 60 munchkins, kindergartners, first class? What do you do with them? Good Lord. You know. So half of us went in the basement of the Presbyterian Church, and the other half went in a Stanwood storefront building, not a mortuary, but a storefront building. After Christmas that year, the grade school opened. That's where we went, from K-8, and the high school was 9 through 12, okay? I just tell you, I'm very humbled to receive this honor. I don't know how it hits me, just kind of like, wow, this is great, folks, you know. And I'd like to recognize my family while I'm here. Some people have good families. My family's great. You know, my wife, Regina, my son, she took care of a scorebook for many of my basketball games. And I can coach a game, I can play a game, I can watch a game, but don't give me that scorebook. You know, my son, Michael, there's two different ways you can say this. His wife, Rachel, or my daughter-in-law, Rachel. The oldest grandchild we have, Mason. She's 6 years old. Her little sister couldn't make it. No, you ever seen a 2-year place like this? She's doing just fine, the babysitter. Right? The other person I'd like to acknowledge is my daughter Katrina and her daughter Rosamond. They live in Ankeny, Iowa. Both of them, my son graduated in 97, my daughter graduated in 2000. And Mason, you're going to graduate here. My parents, Clarabelle McDaniel's name was Wilbur. Dad never made it out of the 8th grade, but he valued education. Mom quit school here when she was 15 and got married. And by the way, she led her volleyball her freshman year. I was in the 30s. Said, you know, both of them, like I said, valued in education. I was the youngest of 5. My 4 siblings graduated. Now here's one way to look at it too. Not necessarily college. My oldest brother became a sheet metal journeyman. My second oldest brother spent 20 years in the Army. He retired from the Army. And during that time, he had 3 tours to Vietnam in 6 years' time. My third oldest brother, he was a machinist. He lived in Michigan. My sister, even though she was completely blind, she got a BA degree in French and Spanish from Missouri Valley College. And things didn't work out the way she wanted to, but she ended up working for Ralston Purina, downtown St. Louis. That one with the checkerboard around the top. She spent 10 years there transcribing letters. And she met a man who had a boat. You know, when you got a boat, you got to go where the water is. So they retired to Florida. So me, I'm the tail end, the baby. So I decided when I was a freshman, I'm quitting. I'm going to quit school. Well, Mr. Radmer, the principal at that time, I had the utmost respect for that man. He came and talked to me. Didn't do any good. Had my mind made up, I'm quitting. Somewhere along the line, my dad found out. And he looked at me one day and he said, son, you quit school today. Your bags will be on the front porch tomorrow. Okay, Dad. Right. He valued an education and he knew what direction he wanted me to go. And I sat there and I thought, it mom and dad? Nope. Was it the school? No. It was me, Terry McDaniel. I had an attitude problem. You know, attitudes we can all control. We have control of our attitude. I had an attitude problem. So I straightened up, stuck to my guns at school, and later on I graduated in 1967. But along the way, I became a teacher's aide. They advertised in the office, anybody want to be a teacher's aide, fill out an application. I did. So I got to go over to grade school and I worked with some teachers, some great teachers. And there was Mrs. A lot of you don't know, Mrs. Dempsey, Mrs. Bloom, Mrs. Mattingly, Mrs. Kaufman, and Peggy Johnson. They were all teachers and I was their aide. Nowadays I think you gotta have 60 college hours to be an aide. I was in high school and I figured, well, I'll play football on Friday night, Saturday morning I'll go to Saturday school. And those ladies, they gave me a group of first graders to work with. And I thought, this is great. And they were so impressed. And I said, ladies, this is fun. Of course, I know there's some challenges, don't get me wrong, okay? And how do you become a teacher? And they told me how to become a teacher. That was my goal, become a teacher. But, you know, my mom and dad couldn't afford to send me to school. You know, and then get back to a goal. Point A is here. Point B is here. I want to get to point B because I was here on A. And I had to keep my attitude up. You know, I had to keep it up. So I couldn't afford to go to school. My mom, parent, dad couldn't afford to send me. So one of our counselors, Sam Hunt, he learned about this school down at Point Lookout, Missouri called College of the Ozarks, where you work your way through. He wrote a nice letter and thanked me, Russ, for what you do for the kids and the school. He wrote a nice letter of recommendation, which got me in. It's where you work your way through school. And while I was there, I worked in a cannery, canned green beans, canned tomatoes, made sandboxes for Webster Auto, ran a jackhammer, helped build that airport down there. Well, after I was there for a semester or two, I transferred to Memorare College. And I worked during the summers to pay for my education. I didn't have a car. I just pretty had the clothes on my back and shoes and support from my parents. And let me get my straight here. Let's see, I transferred, okay, I did work during the summer. One of the jobs I had was bartending. Okay. Y'all know where the OK Crowd is? Nope. Okay, it used to be Chess Siebert's Tavern, neighborhood bar. I bartended there, $2 an hour. $2 an hour. And of course, that was a number of years ago, don't get me wrong. You know, I worked for the highway department during the day for $2.34, I bartended at night for $2. There was one night, after closing the bar, 1:30, I went home. I was staying with mom and dad during the summer. And I woke my dad up. I said, Dad, is all this worth it? Is it worth it? And he said, hang in there, son. Hang in there, which I did, you know. And this is 1:30 at night. You know, he probably wondering, what do you wake me up for, son? I just wanted little words of encouragement from my dad. So I went to SEMO, and I graduated, and I was able to get my dream job. I came back to St. Genevieve, the school where I graduated from, and I taught 6th grade. I taught 6th grade in the elementary school for 12 years. In 6th grade, went to the middle school, the building. I taught 2 years there. And then I went to Bloomsdale as the elementary principal for 15 years. And when I retired, I thought, well, I'm not finished yet. So I ran for the school board. I spent 21 years on the school board. And I still maintain, trying to learn about what they're trying to do to education in the state of Missouri and the national. And there are certain things I want you to leave you with. Okay, this is for everybody, no matter what we do. Attitude. You're in control of the attitude. Hang in there. Patience and perseverance goes a long way. There's many times when I was in college, I think, what am I doing there? So patience and perseverance. And one other thing too is And educate, my dad taught me this, an education, son, is something they can't take from you. It is yours. They can't take it from you. So, I appreciate your listening, and it's, like I said, it's I'm humbled to receive this honor. And you know, it's a great school. I've been a lot around schools, folks. Been around a lot of them. We got a good one. We got a darn good one. Thank you all for your attention. Bye.
At this time, I would like to call Bree Foff to the podium to introduce our Dragon of Honor inductee. As Bree makes her way to the podium, I would like to share the qualifications to be a member of the Dragon of Honor. A nominee must have made a significant contribution to the success and accomplishments of the St. Genevieve County R2 School District, but did not graduate from St. Genevieve High School. The nomination will be based on the following qualifications: leadership, character, achievement, service, and suitability as a role model to students.
Our Dragon of Honor inductee is Mr. Russ Toombs. Mr. Toombs has spent 31 years in education, 28 of them at SGHS, leaving a meaningful mark on generations of students through his dedication, leadership, and steady support. He has served in a wide range of roles, including student council sponsor and coach for softball, basketball, track, and cross country, all while continuously building strong relationships that help students grow. Though he began as a math teacher, his greatest impact has come through school counseling, where he guides seniors through their final year with remarkable care, encouragement, and accountability. His influence extends to school-wide programs, including his leadership in developing Dragonfire and strengthening graduation traditions to ensure every student feels valued and supported. His work has earned recognition beyond the district, including the SEMO Counselor of the Year Award and the Chamber of Commerce's Mentor Legacy Award. Through every chapter of his career, Mr. Toombs has exemplified family, tradition, and excellence, leaving a legacy defined by compassion, collaboration, and an unwavering belief in students' potential. At this time, we would like to welcome Mr. Toombs to the podium to share a few words with us this morning.
Good morning, Dragons, and everyone gathered here on this outstanding day. I'm truly honored and humbled to stand before you as a Dragons of Honor recipient. Something I never expected, incredibly grateful to have been selected, and I often tell people I'm just a guy who loves his job, and that statement could not be more true. First, I would like to give a huge congratulations to Terry McDaniel for being selected to enter the St. John Dragon Hall of Fame. Terry, you are truly the epitome of what it means to be a Dragon and bleed green. You're extremely deserving of this honor. Congratulations. I next want to extend my sincere thank you to those on the Hall of Fame and Dragons of Honor Selection Committee. You chose me to be recognized today, and I could not thank you enough. I want to start with what may seem like a lot of thank yous. Many people have contributed to my journey through my 31 years in education. Everything I am begins with my family. I want to thank my parents who raised me to be the man I am today. I grew up on a small farm in a home filled with love and strong work ethic. From an early age, I learned the values of hard work, dedication, and respect, values that continue to define who I am today. Mom, thank you for the love, care, strength, and life lessons that shaped me while I was young and even today. No doubt I get my giving nature from you. To my brother Rodney, thank you for always pushing me to be better in everything and always encouraging me to do my best. To my wife Nancy, you've been the steady rock in all my craziness of 31 years. Thank you for taking a leap of faith 28 years ago when I came to you and asked if we could leave New Madrid and move to St. Genevieve, to be a little closer to my family. Thanks for enduring the long days, evenings, weekends I spent coaching, sponsoring organizations, attending after-school activities. You've continually pushed me to be the educator I am today. I'm so excited for the new opportunities and adventures ahead of us as we retire together at the end of the year. To my beautiful children, Josie and Drew, and their spouses, Michael, Lindsay, and the two best grandkids I could ask for, Jason and Liliana, you bring immeasurable joy to my life. Drew and Josie, I know it's not easy going to a school where your both parents work. There's no flying under the radar when you're a teacher's kid. You guys are my world. Thank you for loving me even on the days I came home crabby because Aaron Stoll or Kenny Rapp wouldn't do their math homework, or when Clayton Gagg wouldn't use the correct hand at basketball practice, or when Brock Kreitler would fall asleep in my office 8 hour, or when Chloe, Reagan, and Maya would steal my phone and take 100 selfies while I stepped out of my office. I'm not sure anyone could be blessed with a more loving family than mine. Who knew a simple crossing of paths in 1997 would make me a Dragon for life? At a football game between the New Madrid County Central Eagles and St. Genevieve Dragons, I ran into my childhood neighbor and former principal, Dan Clark. Yes, the same Dan Clark that the honors banquet is named after. He was my principal and my high school principal and neighbor, and he was the principal of St. Genevieve High School at that time. After some small talk, he asked me what I was doing at New Madrid, and I told him I was teaching math. And without missing a beat, he said, "Do you want to get closer to home? We have a math position open at St. Genevieve High School." He encouraged me to apply. I went home that night, talked with Nancy, and interviewed the following week, and the next school year I became a Dragon. During my time at SGHS, I've been shaped by tremendous leaders who helped me mold me who I am today. Thank you to Mike Stewart, Earl Wilson, Dan Clark, Shelley Jokers, Jeff Lindsay, Julie Fleet, Paul Taylor, Lance McClard, Larry Thompson, Charlie Crowther, Colleen Weiler, Jamie Drury. You each had an impact on my educational career. A few other administrators who have really impacted me. Dustin Schnabel, you and I are a lot alike. We love to have fun with students, but also know when they need tough love and real conversations. Thank you for both being a friend and a teammate when it mattered most. Scott Mercer, you're more than a friend, you're a brother. Thank you for including me in the moments when students needed both guidance and comfort. I'll never forget the voicemails you sent me on my toughest days, or the wisdom you shared with students. Don't say her name, don't say anything that rhymes with her name, don't step on the same floor tiles, don't exchange the same atmosphere. All of those are extremely wise tips for surviving confrontation. Thank you for being you. Jeff Nix, you're easily the best athletic director around. I appreciate your constant efforts to do everything for our kids. I've had the luxury to coach with you as well as have you as my athletic director. Your humor always keeps me on my toes. It's quite frequently the best part of my day. Thank you for your unwavering friendship and leadership. Chris Haney, you pushed me to dig deeper, to look beyond the easy answers, find meaningful solutions. Your wisdom and forward thinking made us all better. Thank you for ignoring my set binders. Dr. John Boyd, I can't thank you enough for your leadership, dedication, and friendship. You've always included me in your ideas for St. Genevieve High School and expanding the opportunities for our students. You've made me a better educator, and you truly exemplify what it means to be a Dragon. To the incredible math team I had the privilege of working with for 12 years, Alan Dana Engelman, Nikki Greed, and the geometry legend himself, Chris Werner, thank you for those unforgettable years. To all the coaches I've had the pleasure to work with, Mike Weiler, Jeremy O'Brien, Chris Trimmer, Jeff Nix, Mike McDaniel, Mark Gibson, Bob Weiler, Clayton Gegg, Brian Kraft, Rob Coleman, John Robinson, Dominic Johnson, Brian Jett, Al Engelman, Kenny White, Chris Werner, Dustin Keeker, Chris Thompson, Dennis Kreitler, Mike Cook, Jared Bonnell, Jamie Viazza, Aaron Stubbe. Yeah, I've coached a lot. Thank you all for teaching me so much and the fun times we had throughout the years. To my outstanding senior grade level team, you guys are the rock stars. I could not do what I do for each group of seniors without you guys. To my dudes, Brock, Cody, Tyson, Kenny, Jared, Adam, and others, thank you for always making this old guy feel young and important. I appreciate the daily conversations about many different things. And yes, Aaron, it was mostly sports. You guys are tremendous friends. To the counseling office, Registrar Sandy Case, Lori Roth, counselors Tina Howe, Amy Rowland, Kristen Huffman, thank you for welcoming me and teaching me the ropes. To the team I work with today, you're a major reason I love coming to work every day. Steph Gay, Officer Clark, Officer Cusinelli, thank you for your unwavering dedication to our students and for always what's doing best for them, even when no one sees it. Ed, you're an outstanding human being. Other than being a Cubs fan, you have nearly no faults. Your heart for kids is unmatched, and I'm grateful for your friendship. Steph, thank you for trying to keep me organized. We know that that's a losing battle. Thank you for being my sounding board and my seamstress. I'm not sure which number is greater, the number of letters you've created for me or the number of jeans that you've fixed. You keep me grounded every day. Aaron, thank you for being you. From spilling my coffee your freshman year to becoming someone I can't imagine going through the day without. I'm blessed beyond words to work with you every day supporting the class of 2026. You're truly a dragon for life. Kelly, you're the sister I never had. Your sass keeps me on my toes and occasionally hurts my feelings and makes every day better. Thank you for believing in me, for loving our kids at HJHS even on the hardest days, and for making me a better counselor. Finally, to the countless students, athletes, and colleagues I've had the privilege of teaching, coaching, and knowing, thank you for welcoming an outsider and making me part of the Dragon family. Whether I was your teacher, coach, sponsor, counselor, colleague, I hope I taught you even a fraction of what you taught me. My time at St. Genevieve has been more than a career. It's been my life. The values of family, tradition, and excellence are what makes this place so special. From running the halls, to the senior signatures on the medal sign, to the class murals, this school is about more than academics. Excellence is expected, and family is felt from day one. Students, here are a couple things I want you to always remember. Always work hard at what you do. One of my favorite quotes is, to give anything less than your best is to sacrifice the gift. Work hard in everything you do. Make sure to focus on the things that you have the ability to control. Don't allow yourself to get distracted by the small stuff, because those are the things that consume your life, if you allow them. Always set goals and strive to achieve them. This will keep you focused and motivated through your life. Always let the people that you care about you in your life know how much you appreciate them. These are the folks who helped mold and shape you to what you are today. Make sure to let them know how much you are thankful for them. Lastly, make sure to take one day at a time. Another quote, life moves pretty fast. If you don't stop and take a look around once in a while, you could miss it. Students, if you're having a bad day, don't let that carry to the next day. If you're having a good day, ask yourself what you can do to make the next one better. It may seem like you can't wait to graduate, but don't allow yourself to focus on getting through the days. Find ways to make those days better, not only for you, but for those around you. Believe it or not, your days at SGHS may be some of the best of your life. SGHS is a great place. Many people care about you and love you. Let them. I'll close with one of my favorite quotes that reminds me of St. Genevieve R2 School District. And it comes from the very, very wise food philosopher Olive Garden, who says, when you're here, you're family. Thank you again for this incredible honor. Always a dragon.